Alright, tonight we're going to make some fig ice cream. It's actually going to be tonight and tomorrow because the base custard for the ice cream actually needs to sit in the fridge overnight. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 5 egg yolks and 3/4 cup of sugar, and we're going to blend them together until it gets to be a smooth consistency. Alright, we want to keep blending. This should all get the sugar worked into the eggs. Just a couple minutes here. Gotta get those eggs broken down. Kind of like when you make what's the crust, the white stuff that goes on? Meringue. It's kind of like when you're making meringue. Except for instead of just the egg whites, you're actually using the egg yolks. And you're putting a little sugar in there to give it a little kick. Alright, we're getting there just a little bit longer. You can see how it's getting a little bit fluffy and white. Pretty good. You don't want to keep it going until it gets to be a meringue. You actually want it to be a little bit loose and watery to some extent. Alright, now we're going to take this pot over here. I'm going to put it on medium heat. And I've got two things. I've got heavy cream and I've got some milk. Just whole milk. And you'll see I got this from one of our local dairies. The local dairies have a much better product we've found. Local dairy also sells ice cream, which is amazing. So, first thing we're going to do is open these guys up. And I'm going to want to use a cup of each approximately. I'm not a big measurer. I don't really think it matters if it's a cup and a quarter. I think it's going to be okay. So, I'm just going to put in a single cup, more or less. Okay, there's the heavy cream. Now I need to put in the whole milk. Same exact amount, 1 cup. Alright, now we want to get this to a simmer. Get it nice and warm. Teresa's on the side here. Teresa, can you get me a ladle, please? See why. A ladle and a spatula actually would be good. We're going to take a break while this actually warms up. We've got to get this mixture of the cream and milk just to be warm and simmering. Alright, our cream and milk mixture is simmering slightly. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to temper it into the egg mixture. And you need to mix it in slowly because the last thing you want to do is actually cook your eggs when you're putting it in here. You don't want to have the eggs congeal, so you have to temper it in nice and slow. One more ladleful. Alright, now mixing that in should allow me to put the rest of this mixture into the hot pan without the eggs solidifying. this all in there, all this yummy stuff. Now normally I would use a strainer and put it through the strainer, but kind of forgot. So the strainer will actually keep it from getting any eggshells you may have cracked or any congealed milk. I can do it after this step, but no, Teresa, it's good. There you go. You can just give that a rinse. All right. So now this mixture is all in here together. Give it a little stir. Keep it on heat. And now we want to get this warmed up and get this to simmer for a few minutes until it thickens. Once it thickens, it should stick to the spatula a little bit better than this. Alright, I'm going to pause and we'll be back. Okay, this has been simmering. You can see it's quite a bit thicker now. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour it into this bowl through the sieve, just to get rid of any clumps or eggshells if I didn't crack the eggs careful. Alright. Set that pot aside. Help this through. Wish I had a slightly larger sieve to put this through. This one's a little bit too small. Really just trying to get rid of any large clumps, but this one doesn't really let the cream through all that well. Teresa's digging around to see if she can find one that's a little bit bigger. But you can see how it's not going through here all that great. So here's another option. Pour it into this. Alright, now this makes our custard. Alright, now if you leave this uncovered, what's going to end up happening is it's going to form a skim on top. It's going to get this little layer of where it gelatizes, so you don't want that. So what you want to do is you want to take some saran wrap or cling film or whatever you might have handy. Hopefully you can get it out of the box easier than I can. And once you have it out, you don't actually want to just cover the bowl. You want to push it down against the custard. If you have any air in there, you're going to end up getting a skim on the top. You don't want that. So we'll push this down so there's no air between the liquid, or between the custard and the cling film. Alright, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the fridge overnight, and we will continue the video tomorrow. Alright, we're back to finish off our fig ice cream. Got my custard, it's been in the fridge overnight, it's ready for the last step, and this is going to be a fig ice cream, so I want to put in some figs, and I'm actually going to mix in some local honey as well. First thing I want to do is take the figs and chop them. I want to get them to the right size for the ice cream. I don't want any real large chunks, but some smaller pieces. This is a Shia Black, or Black Shia Breba that I just picked. I moved it out. If you've seen my previous videos, they were mostly in the greenhouse or just out of the greenhouse in the shade. Plant's been moved to the full sun area of the orchard, and you can see how black it is now. Like it's supposed to be a real dark Breba. So let me go ahead and chop these up and get rid of the little piece of the stem. I just don't care for the texture of it. Alright, there's the inside of this Black Shia Breba. So go ahead and chalk these guys up. I'm going to leave the skin on. You could take the skin off. I actually like the flavor of the skin. We'll see how the consistency is once I put it in the ice cream. This is the bar and soap Breba. And lastly, the Excel Breba. If you saw the videos, you saw me try the bar and soap and the Excel yesterday. These are the second half of those Brebas. Alright. Cut these up just a little bit more so I don't have such large chunks. Should be good. Alright, hold on one second. Alright, so I did remember that the one thing I forgot to add to my custard mix yesterday was a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of salt. So I'm going to add those now. About a teaspoon of vanilla. I like vanilla, and I don't care if it's a little bit too much. And then just a good pinch of salt to it, give it a little bit of flavor enhancement. Just going to mix this in quick. You see that saran wrap stopped the custard from getting a film on the top, but you do need to work with it quickly because that film will form once it's uncovered. Alright, I'm not going to put the figs in yet. I'm going to mix them in at the end when the ice cream is almost set. So let me get the ice cream maker. Alright, I got the ice cream maker out of the freezer. The base has been in the freezer overnight just to get it nice and cold. This piece here is filled with a gel or a liquid or something to make it real cold, and that's what actually makes your ice cream. So I'm going to put this on. Alright, I apologize, my video cut out at some point here, but I've poured the mixture into my ice cream maker, and I'm just going to let it spin now for about 20 minutes, and I'll be back. Alright, now I need to add the figs and the honey. Let this mix for a while. Actually cut the honey open. Alright, now I'm going to let that mix for another 10 minutes or so, and I'm going to pop it in the freezer to set. Alright, the ice cream maker is done. You can see the consistency of the ice cream now. It's kind of like soft serve, so I'm going to want to put it into the freezer just for a little while to get it hardened up. Teresa, do you want to try some before I put it in? Alright, my camera keeps telling me that I'm out of memory, so I'm not sure where it cut out. I'm going to have to try to piece these videos together best I can. So I took the finished ice cream and I put the saran wrap, just like with the custard though, I put the saran wrap up against it so that ice crystals don't form while it's freezing in the freezer. You need to leave it in there at least 10-20 minutes. I'll probably leave it in until after dinner. We'll have it for dessert, and I'll show you the finished product then. Alright, we ate dinner, and now it's time for some fig honey ice cream. Alright, so I got my ice cream maker, I took it out of the freezer. I kind of take the saran wrap off. Again, the saran wrap was in there to prevent ice crystals. And hopefully you can see, there is the ice cream. I added a little bit of food coloring. I added a couple drops of yellow and a drop or two of red, just to give it a little bit of color. In the future, I think I'd make it purple, just for fun. big chunks of fig in there. All right. Look at that, nice and creamy. This recipe probably made enough for 3 people, depending on how much you like ice cream. See the chunks of figs in there? Take a look at those. Look how delicious that looks. Big old chunks of figs in there with some homemade ice cream. Alright, Teresa, let's give this a try. Here's yours. Let's see what you think. How is it?
Very good.
Very good. Alright. This is homemade fig and honey ice cream from PA Figs. Hey, if you want some ice cream? You want some ice cream and figs? Go ahead, good boy. How is it? Tell us how it is. Is it good?